Welcome everybody to today's GOT16RD4 Doug Jones League Daily Recap Podcast for January 24, 2023, brought to you by the good folks at Greyhound and IS Vans Productions. Go Greyhound and leave the driving to us. Miami Goldfish met Hanks a Lot 6 for a 3-game set in American Family Field in Milwaukee today, playing on grass. In a squeaker in the first game before a sold-out crowd of 41,900 under the dome, Tim Wakefield pitched a complete game for Miami Goldfish but took the loss by a score of 4-3 victory. Winning pitcher was Corcoran. In a blowout in the second game before a nice crowd of 24,253 under cloudy skies, Smokey Joe Williams pitched a complete game shutout to give Hanks a Lot 6 a 9-0 victory over Miami Goldfish. Losing pitcher was Smoltz. In the third game before a nice crowd of 23,484 under cloudy skies, Alvin Crowder pitched 8 innings to give Miami Goldfish a 4-2 victory over Hanks a Lot 6, and Pat Perry picked up his 18th save. Losing pitcher was Johnson.
Kentucky Mules met Plymouth First-Comers for a 3-game set in Fenway Park in Boston today, playing on grass. Plymouth First-Comers won the first game over Kentucky Mules by a score of 8-6. Winning pitcher was Smith, losing pitcher was Brown. Bobo Newsome started for Plymouth First-Comers and Ray Brown started for Kentucky Mules. Kentucky Mules won the second game over Plymouth First-Comers by a score of 6-1. Winning pitcher was Gonzalez, losing pitcher was Clemens. Plymouth First-Comers won the third game over Kentucky Mules in a slugfest by a score of 9-7. Winning pitcher was DePato, losing pitcher was Fossum. Barry Zito started for Plymouth First-Comers and George Blaholder started for Kentucky Mules. Pat Siri hit his 40th home run for Plymouth First-Comers. Stonehurst Mighty Seasons met Electric Amish for a 3-game set in Baker Bowl in Philadelphia today, playing on grass. Stonehurst Mighty Seasons won the first game over Electric Amish by a score of 8-4. Winning pitcher was Leibrandt, losing pitcher was Males. Stonehurst Mighty Seasons won the second game over Electric Amish by a score of 4-1. Winning pitcher was Murphy, losing pitcher was Mirabella. Rube Wahlberg started for Electric Amish and CC Sabathia started for Stonehurst Mighty Seasons. Electric Amish won the third game over Stonehurst Mighty Seasons in a squeaker by a score of 4-3. Winning pitcher was Reuter, losing pitcher was Bergmeyer. The Amish scored all of their runs in the fourth when Danny Tartabull homered deep to left center, Crosetti homered deep to left, and Mike Schmidt grounded a single between first and second, scoring Cruz scored.
Green Sand Beach met Bod Game of Thrones for a 3-game set in Busch Stadium in St. Louis today, playing on grass. In a pitcher's duel, Bod Game of Thrones won the first game in a walk-off victory over Green Sand Beach by a score of 1-0. Radford grounded a single between first and second, scoring Lou Blue for the game's only run. Winning pitcher was Harrison, losing pitcher was Lidge. Robert Person started for Bod Game of Thrones and Burley Grimes started for Green Sand Beach. Bod Game of Thrones won the second game over Green Sand Beach by a score of 6-3. Winning pitcher was Miller, losing pitcher was Roboski. Leon Day started for Bod Game of Thrones and Steve Avery started for Green Sand Beach. In the third game before a nice crowd of 40,471 under sunny skies, Johan Santana went 8 innings to give Green Sand Beach 8-3 victory over Bod Game of Thrones. Losing pitcher was Harrison. Got Bombed Redux met Doug Jonestown Massacre for a 3-game set in Cleveland Municipal Stadium in Cleveland today, playing on grass. The first game in Cleveland today between Got Bombed Redux and Doug Jonestown Massacre under sunny skies, before a large crowd of 68,048 was a walk-off 3-2 victory for the home squad when Jack Clark homered to left. Winning pitcher was McCullers, losing pitcher was Garces. Joe Kennedy started for Doug Jonestown Massacre and Matt Cain started for Got Bombed Redux. Doug Jonestown Massacre won the second game over Got Bombed Redux in a pitcher's duel by a score of 2-1. Winning pitcher was Leesenby, losing pitcher was Marbury. Doug Jonestown Massacre won the third game over Got Bombed Redux by a score of 7-4. Winning pitcher was McCullers, losing pitcher was Harshman. Juan Nieves started for Doug Jonestown Massacre. Baby Got Bat v met Rocket Dogs for a 3-game set in Wrigley Field in Chicago today, playing on grass. In a squeaker in the first game before a nice crowd of 33,238 under sunny skies, Kirby Higbee pitched 8 innings to give Rocket Dogs a walk-off 6-5 victory over Baby Got Bat v. Losing pitcher was Perinoski. Baby Got Bat v won the second game over Rocket Dogs in a slugfest by a score of 9-7. Winning pitcher was Perinoski, losing pitcher was Marte. Bob Ojeda started for Rocket Dogs and Bob Feller started for Baby Got Bat v. Baby Got Bat v won the third game over Rocket Dogs by a score of 7-5. Winning pitcher was Rodriguez, losing pitcher was Redman.
Here are the current standings. In the East Division, Miami Goldfish has a record of 67-65 and has a lead over Plymouth First Comers, who has a record of 67-65. Hanks A Lot 6 has a record of 62-70. Kentucky Mules has a record of 62-70. In the Central Division, Rocket Dogs has a record of 70-62 and has a lead over Baby Got Bat v, who has a record of 65-67. Electric Amish has a record of 64-68. Stonehurst Mighty Seasons has a record of 56-76. In the West Division, Baud Game of Thrones has a record of 82-50 and has a lead over Green Sand Beach, who has a record of 71-61. Got Bombed Redux has a record of 65-67. Doug Jonestown Massacre has a record of 61-71. Here is your GOT16RD4 Doug Jones Injuries Report. For Doug Jonestown Massacre, Deere, Rob, out for 4 more days, 3 more games. Here are the current batting leaders. The home run leader is McGuire, Mark from PFC, who has 44. The top run scorer is McGuire, Mark from PFC, who has 101. The top RBI producer is McGuire, Mark from PFC, who has 120. The highest batting average belongs to Jeter, Derek from MGF, who has .318. McGuire, Mark from PFC, has the most runs created at 101.83. The stolen base leader is Morgan, Joe from DJM, who has 42. The most game-winning RBIs is from Schmidt, Mike from SAT, who has 17. The longest current hit streak belongs to Cullenbine, Roy from GSB, who has hit in 9 straight. The longest hit streak belongs to Jeter, Derek from MGF, who hit in 21 straight. Here are the current pitching leaders. The ERA leader is Burrell, Mark from BGO at 3.26. The top game winner is Burrell, Mark from BGO, who has 19. The strikeout leader is Clemens, Roger from PFC, who has 197. The highest number of complete games belongs to Glavine, Tom from GSB, who has 9. Burrell, Mark from BGO, has the most innings pitched at 256.2. The saves leader is Ward, Dwayne from DJM, who has 22. Here is tomorrow's schedule. Miami Goldfish is at Plymouth First Comers in Fenway Park, 1946-1950, Boston. Electric Amish is at Rocket Dogs in Wrigley Field, 2017-2021, Chicago. Green Sand Beach is at Got Bombed Redux in Truist Park, 2017-2021, Atlanta. Doug Jonestown Massacre is at Baud Game of Thrones in Busch Stadium, 2001-2005, St. Louis. Stonehurst Mighty Seasons is at Baby Got Bat v in Fulton County Stadium, 1991-1995, Atlanta. Kentucky Mules is at Hanks A Lot 6 in American Family Field, 2017-2021, Milwaukee. Thanks for listening to today's game. For the best classic fantasy baseball game on the market, visit imaginesports.com. Good night all and God bless.
Rock and roll was being born, marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner the national pastime went on trial. We're talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber and the Nuke. They knew 'em all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Well, Casey was winning, Hank Aaron was beginning, one Robbie going out, one coming in. Kiner and Midget Goodell, the Thumper and Mel Parnell, and Ike was the only one winning down